Cause we are living single. Yeah, it's a 90s kind of world. I'm glad I got my girl. Skip your head up. Say what? Say what? Keep your head up.
That's right.
Whenever this life gets tough, you gotta fight. When my homegirl sitting to my left, am I right? We
true blue. We tight like glue.
We are living. You can't see this, but I'm holding my finger to my ear like Mariah Carey. Single. How the hell are you?
Not the how the hell are you? What's up?
I'm out here. Low key, I'm listening to Beyonce while we're filming this, but y'all can't hear.
But I'm listening to. You over there jamming.
Yeah. And I got my little, I guess, moonshine.
Moonshine?
Yeah.
On a Sunday?
I mean, listen, I went 3 months. Well, not 3 months, but pretty much 3 months without alcohol this whole year.
Oh, okay.
And I definitely fell off the wagon this week.
Turned up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Moonshine.
But how y'all doing? Welcome to the Pretty Petty Podcast. I am Mercedes.
And I'm Mira. How are you?
And I guess we should adjust last week. We didn't have an episode. You may have noticed. Just some things were going on, and it was just I couldn't get it together to do the podcast episode. But I appreciate y'all coming back. If you're listening to this, hopefully, we can make up for it with a good episode.
Yeah.
So should we talk about anything or get right into it?
Let's get right into it. Well, I mean, how you feeling? Wellness check. How are you? You okay?
It changes day by day. I feel like my days are kind of like Texas weather. Like one day it's like a tornado or hurricane. Next day is dry. Next day is cold. Next day is 100 degrees. It's just like every day it fluctuates. But what about you? How was your last 2 weeks?
It's same thing. The weather here is also very sporadic. Some days it's like 10 degrees. The next day is 70. Cold.
Not you actually talking about the weather.
Yeah, no, because the shit that's actually been stressing me out. Like I'm tired of like turning my heat on because it's 20 degrees in the nighttime and then waking up to 70-degree weather and sweating. But I've been stressed out. My computer's messed up. I'm just going through changes right now. I gotta turn it to tech support in this motherfucker.
So I understand that. We've both been going through it. But I have to say the bright spot this week for me was Cowboy Carter. Country Carter. CUNT Carter. Beyonce came out with Act 2 of her Renaissance project. And she had obviously released 2 songs beforehand that we've talked about previously, Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages. But she released the whole album. Was it Thursday night or Friday night?
Damn.
I feel like it was Thursday night. It was Thursday night. Yeah, I remember because I was streaming and it came out while I was on stream and I had to mute myself and listen to it on my phone real quick, like 4 or 5 quick tracks. Like, I don't care about y'all. I need to listen to Beyonce real quick.
Oh, wow. Not you. Wow.
Yeah. And I don't regret that. Okay. Are you comfortable going through, like, should we just go through the track listing?
We can go through the track listing. Okay. I mean, I listened to it at least 2-3 times, but I'm fine going through it.
When you listen to albums for the first time, do you listen to every single track fully or do you skip around?
I don't skip around. I listened to the whole album, and I'm not gonna lie. I looked at that track list and was like 27 tracks. I was like, we're gonna be here for a while. But then I kind of just sat and I listened and I looked up and it was already over. I was like, damn, that kind of went by kind of fast.
I ain't never seen Beyonce come out with an album that has 27 tracks. I could be wrong though.
It kind of flew by.
It did, and I feel like it was almost like cinematic. Like especially with like the interim, I almost said cutscenes. Like like the interludes, it's just like it all flows so good from the very beginning when you get, American with 2 eyes, Requiem, and then all the way down through Sweet and Amen. I was just like, this is a complete body of work. And I can tell that she spent a lot of time working on this album. Like this album made the kind of album, like she did not start this album after she released part 1. Like she'd been working on this for years.
They say 5 years ago she started.
Yeah. Like you can tell she really put her whole light skin ass in this album. And I appreciate it. Okay, how do you feel? Okay, let's go first. Okay, American Requiem, the first track on the album.
I ain't gonna lie, it was a bit long. It don't sound bad, but I was like, I was looking at times. I'm like, yo, this song is 5 minutes.
It's 5 minutes.
That's
And
a nice energy.
the thing that struck me is like you would think like it would sound country, the first track, but the first track it's almost like a haunting, like old school. And I remember how Destiny's Child, they was always down to do a 3-piece a cappella and merge their melodies. That's what I get from American Requiem. And I thought was an excellent way to start the album. And then we go into Blackbird.
I thought that was cute. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I think when I finally like sat down and looked at the track listing, I was just sitting in the bathroom looking at it, and I like actually squealed when I saw all the names on the track because I had been listening to some of those other artists for a while, and I was
Hannah
like,
Adele, Brittany Spencer,
yeah,
and
I was like, oh, this is cute,
and Tiara Kennedy, yeah. Tiara Kennedy looks so much like Kelly Rowland. It don't make no sense to me.
I actually squealed. I think that was so cool.
I thought it was beautiful. It's a song that we're familiar with, just like Jolene, which we'll get to in a bit. I thought it was amazing that she did this song with Tanner Adele. Because I remember whenever 16 Carriages and Texas Hold'em came out, all of a sudden everybody was interested in Black people doing country music. And Tanner had been doing it for a while. That whole what was that song? Buckle Bunny.
I've
that
made
song
content around that song. I've been listening to that song for a year now.
It's so good.
I literally got Sims giddying up in cowboy hats and snake boots and all type of shit to that song.
Did you see do you follow her on TikTok, Tanner?
Yes.
Did you see the TikTok she put up the night that the album released? And it's like a video of her at the Beyonce concert. And she's like, I forgot what it says, like something like watching Beyonce being the biggest fan, and then cut to like her reaction to being on the Beyonce album, crying in her car. And it's like, and then being featured on Beyonce's album. I was just like, that's so beautiful. It's so good to see good things happen to good people, because she comes across as a really good girl and extremely talented and beautiful. And I love that for her. Especially since I heard that Beyonce, the way she does her albums, is she'll make a bunch of tracks with different people, and they don't know if they're going to be on the album until the album literally releases and the whole world finds out.
Oh, wow. Seriously? Sheesh.
That's what I heard.
That's only because like based on some of these reactions.
Yeah. Like Deadass, I think it was with Renaissance, or it could have been with a previous album, but I remember her doing a song with somebody, like a bigger artist, like a Nicki, like around that level. And she was like, yeah, I didn't even know that it was going to be on the album until the album came out. And I was like, damn, that's power. When you could be like, hey, do this song with me, and guess what? It might not get featured or put on the album. And if it does, you won't know.
That's wild.
16 Carriages. I mean, I know we didn't like really go into 16 Carriages, but how do you like relate to it? How do you feel?
I don't relate to it. I like listening to it, but I've seen a lot of discussion around the mashups, and it makes me laugh because a lot of people mashed it up in the beginning when they first dropped it. Like I said, it was a cute song to me, but when she first released the 2 songs, I was more of Texas Hold'em. Like I was all dancing around, down, like.
We should rate them, because I ranked them already.
Oh, ranked? Damn.
Yeah, we should give them like
got a tier list.
E, F. So we'll start with 16 Carriages. I give 16 Carriages a B.
Wait, how are we rating it? Like
just like grade school.
Oh, I'm about to say school rating or tier list rating. School rating, I'm gonna give it a C.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, next up,
but I like it.
Protector. Featuring the Grand Priestess, the Grand Dame, Rumi Carter, making her debut album appearance. Countdown to her first Grammy Award. Do you think Beyonce has a shot of getting Album of the Year this time?
I will hope so. But it just feels like there's some type of I hate to say this. I feel like there's some type of, I don't want to say vendetta, but like there's definitely something where they're intentionally not giving that shit to her when she's deserved it quite a few times. So here's to hoping that, you know, this time around nobody's being weird and she can get her things.
So Protector I really enjoy it. I think it's well made. It's one of the few tracks on the album that I don't really connect to. So I'll be honest, I haven't listened to Protector as much as the other songs on this album. But I still like it. So for me, I give Protector like a C plus.
Protector. I'm probably gonna give it a B simply because I don't know. It was pleasant to my ear.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing, like we talked about this, like in Discord, about how like well the album flowed and how well all the tracks flowed with each other, and like it just flowed really well to me, and it sounded really good. So I'll give that a B.
Texas Hold'em, number 7.
Texas Hold'em.
You go ahead. You go first.
I like it. It's a song that I jam to quite a bit. And it's definitely an A for me. It actually had me considering doing a little TikTok dance. Everybody looks like they having so much fun. It just seems like a very joyous, upbeat track. And I'm like, I might be doing me a little TikTok something on there because this is nice. It's nice and upbeat.
So for me, Texas Hold'em is the first A track on the album for me. Texas Hold'em, it gets me in the mood. It makes me want to go out and get some cowboy boots and some Spurs. It makes me want to get a cowboy hat and a denim jacket. Like it gives that kind of feeling. And I didn't even realize that Texas Hold'em has like 4 times as many plays as 16 carriages. So clearly a lot of people did also prefer Texas Hold'em to 16 carriages. It could be because of TikTok as well. But yeah, I definitely give Texas Hold'em an A for sure. Next one, Jolene.
Jolene.
Go ahead.
I love that fucking song, but I love every remake and every version of it. But I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting here listening to Beyonce and laughing because I'm like, bro, why she got gangsta on Jolene?
Listen, the lyrical changes was very much appreciated.
Damn. But she made it her own though. But like, how it's supposed to be? I felt like Jolene was supposed to be originally a song about vulnerability and like, don't take my man from me. And you just like, I'll beat your ass, Jolene. Like the energy was just so much different to me. Like, Jolene, I'm gonna snatch you by your wig.
I never got that feeling from Jolene. Like I've always gotten the impression that Jolene was like a warning song. Like I know you're fucking my man, and I'm gonna let you know right now. Yeah, please leave him alone, but I'm gonna handle you regardless. Like that's the feeling I always got. And I feel like Jolene is probably, if no other song, Jolene is probably the one track on the album that Beyonce was like, I have to do Jolene. Like I have to do a cover of Jolene. I want to say I've seen her perform that on some sort of a tour video or a clip before, but I could be mistaken. I will say I was slightly disappointed that Miley or Dolly Parton wasn't on this song with her.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I thought that would have been amazing.
That'd have been fire. One part her, one part Miley, one part
yeah.
Yeah, that'd have been fire. They all sing their versions or something. Yeah.
But maybe she was just like, no, I love Jolene too much. I got to be the only one on the track. But I really, really enjoy it.
I'm like, ma'am.
What's your rating for Jolene?
I'm gonna give it an A because I liked it.
Yes, I'm gonna give Jolene a B plus. I really, really enjoyed it.
I liked it. It was funny. I was
it's
like,
nostalgic.
Wait a minute. I'm singing, and then she just got real gangsta. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, so I just want to say, okay, so I did a tier ranking of this. I think it was last night, and I mistakenly put "Daughter" as like a C song on the album.
What you ranking now?
So no. Let me tell you. So what happened was I listened to the song all the way, and I guess you have to be in a certain mindset sometimes when you listen to certain music or watch certain movies. Like you might watch a movie and something else is going on in your life and it just makes you not like that movie or not enjoy it, and you might watch it again like a couple years later and you're like, oh my God, this movie is actually so amazing. I was tripping. That's how I am with "Daughter." I did not like "Daughter" the first couple of times I heard it, and now it's probably my favorite slow song on the album. So I'm gonna put "Daughter" from the C that I mistakenly ranked it. Don't come for me. I'm actually gonna put "Daughter" at A.
Oh wow, it's a B for me. I like the way it sounds, and it sounds good. I get what you're saying though. Sometimes you got to listen to tracks a few times, and then maybe just at one time you hear it and it resonates in a way that it didn't maybe the first few times. But yeah, I definitely get it.
It's like haunting. It has like a Western quality to it, like less country, like more like, I don't know, I could see this in like
a movie,
a modern Western movie, like The Harder They Fall Part 2, something like that. Like it very much gives that. Like I can hear like a banjo, I think, in it. I really, really enjoy it. And then that brings us to track 12. Put some respect on her fucking name. Spaghetti. Beyonce with Linda Martell and Shabuzi. Spaghetti. So how you feel about Spaghetti? Do you have any reaction to it?
I like it. I was like, I don't know. Every time Beyonce get on her gangster shit, I be laughing. I love it.
I mean, she's the greatest rapper alive. And she let y'all bitches know in this album. Again, I'm okay if the next album is rock, but I really, really, really hope the last era of Renaissance is her rapping.
I want some Turn Around and Die track. So I'm down for the rock.
It's so good. This is my go-to like running, doing exercise song on this album.
Yeah,
like it's upbeat, it has a killer beat. She has a good flow on it. The lyrics is on point. When she comes in, she's like, I'm in this bitch like cornrows, something like that. I don't know. I was like, oh, I had to restart it at that point. I was like, hold up, I wasn't ready for this.
Back.
Because, like, how are you going to go from Daughter, which sounds almost like a classical hymn, to Spaghetti? And she just, I got shooters in my brain, I think that's what she said. I don't know.
Shooters in our bang bang.
Shooters in our bang, thank you. I'm going to give Spaghetti an A+.
It gets an A for me, because this shit had me banging my head like, oh, okay.
Spaghetti got to be in my top 2 of all the songs, especially when like the break comes in and it becomes like soft, almost like soundtrack music for like a family film. Like it's just like whiplash on the blending of genres on this album. And she said, this is not a country album. This is a Beyonce album. She meant that shit.
I feel like the blending is immaculate. The way everything just seamlessly just goes into the next song, goes into the next song, goes into the next song. Like I said, the hour flew by. It was an hour and like 27 minutes or an hour and 20, something like that. That shit flew by.
This bitch, she didn't spare our feelings. She's like, a song can start out sounding like Beethoven Symphony and then go into like a banjo, Dolly Parton situation. And then all of a sudden she doing some trap. And then now we got, some classical, like it's flawless. And at no point do I feel like, oh, this is disrupting my experience. Like flawless. Whoever mixed this, whoever mastered this album, you put your ass in this. All right. Next track is Alligator Tears, which is kind of like a mid-tempo song. It has a steady drum beat when you're listening to it. I'll be honest, Alligator Tears is probably the second song on this album that I have listened to the least. I think I'm just going through a phase in my life where I'm not really as into slower songs, especially like after Spaghetti's, like you just got me hyped up and now we're listening to Alligator Tears. So for me, Alligator Tears is actually my least favorite song on the album.
Oh, wow.
How do you feel?
It's a nice vibe. I wouldn't say least favorite though, but it is much slower paced and it's definitely something that if I'm trying to get hype or, I need motivation or like music, it's not something I'll listen to for that. Like, it would definitely have to just be a chill day. But if I'm trying to get hype and keep the energy up, then I'm not playing that. I probably would give it I say a C+. Because I don't hate it though.
I'm gonna give it a straight C.
I don't hate it. I just, like you said, when you're not in a space to listen to like slower paced music.
Okay, let's move on to Just for Fun. Beyonce and Willie Jones. Another super slow. I feel like this could honestly be like a gospel song. When she's singing it, she's like heavy leaning in her alto range. And I can actually picture like a soloist on stage and it being backed up by a choir. I would give this one for me a C+.
I'm gonna give it a B. And this is one of the songs that made me feel like this album had like a country southern churchy vibe. Like I think of like Black Southern church when I listen to songs like this and like some of the songs on this album. And it's nice. It's a nice like, getting into your roots type shit. I liked it. I liked it, how it sounds.
Okay, next is Two Most Wanted, Beyonce and Miley Cyrus. You're smiling.
I'm smiling because I was listening to it and they sound so good. Why people was saying that Miley bodied her?
That's what they saying?
Yes. I was like, wait, now I'm gonna have to go back to and listen to this again because they sounded good to me. But that's like Miley bodied her on her own track. I'm like,
I knew this shit was gonna be good. It is by far the most popular song on the album
so
in
far
terms of
already?
play. Yeah. Well,
Wow.
after Jolene, but I mean that was gonna happen because it's Jolene.
Jolene, yeah.
In terms of the newer tracks that we're listening to, the second I heard this song, I was like, this is the closest I've heard so far on the album of like a classic female woe song almost, but also it's a love letter. Even though I have no idea what it's like to be in love with somebody,
Oh
this song made me kind of imagine what that would be like for a minute. And more to the point, I've said this before. I love Miley Cyrus. She's Caucasian again and she is in her bag. You
now
hear
she's
me?
Caucasian again.
She's so independent. She's so
what?
like I love her vibe. Like she is somebody like you know how sometimes celebrities Summer Walker who are famous and they hate being famous and they make it known that they hate being famous. Doja Cat, like you know what I'm saying?
That sound like SZA sometimes too.
SZA, all of them. Miley is someone like, yeah, she hates when people pry in her business, but when she gets on the stage, when she gets in public, she is, I'm showing you everything. Like she doesn't know what embarrassment is. That's what I get the feeling from Miley. Like she doesn't know what shame is. And I appreciate that about her.
Now she don't know what shame is.
Like the stuff that she's on stage, she ain't ashamed of nothing. And I love this song. I thought their voices blended well together. I didn't know how their voices would sound together. And I'm almost 1,000% sure that at no point were they in the studio at the same time. Mm-hmm. But the harmonizing, the blending of the voices, perfect. A+.
Shit sound great.
Did you give a rating?
It gets a B for me.
A B? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Speaking of tracks that I'm absolutely obsessed with, this is the song I've played the most over and over and over again. I put this on repeat. Levi's Jeans with Post Malone.
Oh wow.
Absolutely 100 and fucking like the very first time I listened to it, I was doing choreography. I was in the kitchen swaying my hips left and right because it gives like 50s girl group to me. I bet let you be in my Levi's jeans. I sound exactly like her. Like I love this song, but I also really, really enjoy Post Malone as a person and as an artist. So I knew I was gonna also like it. But I think Levi's Jeans is by far the catchiest song on the album, and I would give this an A+ as well. These are my two favorite tracks back to back on the album.
I think for me, it'd probably get like a C+. I only listened to it like once or twice. I haven't listened to it a lot. As far as Post Malone, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't listened to Post Malone in years.
I'm gonna let you live. But I'm gonna need you to re-listen to Levi's Jeans.
I'm listening to it a few more times, but a C+ for me.
Moving right along to 18 Flamenco. I really ain't got too much to say about Flamenco. I'm just gonna say B-. Should we move on to Yaya?
Oh yeah, it can get a B for me. It's a nice sounding song. It gives transition track to me. Like you know how they have the tracks to transition to the other tracks. Yeah, it gives transition track to me. But Yaya, I love Yaya.
Okay, let's go ahead. Yaya, track 20. Go ahead.
Yaya just sounded so good. I remember sitting there listening to it and being like, damn, this gives me like big Tina Turner energy. Like, yes. I fucking love this song. I was like, oh,
it's very Tina Turner.
It is super Tina Turner. Like it gives, like I said, when I think of like Southern church influence, like Southern Black church influence, I think of this as well. And I was like, oh yeah, this is it.
Yaya for me, and I realize a lot of people, this is their favorite track on the album. And I apologize ahead of time. I love Yaya the first 40 seconds. And then once the beat changes and it gives very much Tina Turner. No one can ever say I'm a Tina Turner music fan. I'm not. I do not like the rest of the song after the intro. So for me, I'm gonna have to give, Yaya gets a C-.
Damn, it's A+ for me.
Skipping on down to
in his house.
I ain't never heard a Tina Turner song, like a upbeat one that I liked. I like her slower songs. Yes. Oh. Riverdance, bounce on that shit, dance.
Oh,
bounce
that's my
on
shit
that
too.
Shit, dance. Bounce on that shit, dance. Bounce on that shit, no hands.
I was singing that shit so fast. I'm like, wait, I was singing that from the first time I heard it. That's like you would have thought I had listened to it 10 times already, the way I was singing. And I was like, wait, not me singing this like this already?
It's so catchy. And I was like, is she talking about riding dick or is she actually talking about Riverdance? Because they don't use hands in Riverdance. Both.
Bounce on the shit, no hands. I don't know. She probably was being freaky, sneaky, and sneaking the freaky in the song.
I'm a fan of Riverdance. I'm going to give Riverdance, honest to God, a B+.
Gets an A for me. Just off of the fact that I came out the gate singing the shit and I never heard it. I was like, yeah, A.
2 Hands to Heaven?
2 Hands to Heaven.
Yes. Where she's like, God only knows why though. God only knows why though.
I like this one too. It gets a B for me.
This is one of my favorite fucking songs on the album. This gets a straight A. I love this song. I just like the repetition. I like the way, like the cadence of her voice. I think it all works. Definitely in my top 5 songs on the album. It's so good. Track 25, Tyrant. Cowboy Carter.
And Miss Dolly Parton.
Yes. Were you surprised to see some of the people that we see on this album, like Miley?
No.
I was surprised to see Post Malone.
Yeah, that if anybody I was surprised to see, it would be him. But Miley and Dolly Parton, everybody else, no. Post Malone did throw me off a bit.
This song fucked me up.
Why?
Because when you first started, it sounds like some Riverdance shit. Like you can hear like the feet clacking on the floor. That's what it sounds like. And then at like the 40-second or so mark, all of a sudden the whole fucking beat changes. And I literally looked at my computer. I'm like, did I accidentally
change the song? No.
Yeah.
He switched up.
She switched up heavy on Tyrant. And it's like, then we got something that's a little bit more in the pocket, just chill, just cool as fuck. This song is cool as hell. I love Tyrant. So for me, I gotta give Tyrant, I'm kind of going back and forth between like an A-. I might do an A-. I really, really like Tyrant a lot. I love Tyrant.
It's good. It definitely gives me the vibes of like you chilling in your car and it's nice on the highway and you could bump to it. But yes, the beat change did throw me off too. And I did kind of look like, and that's also when I realized, oh shit, I'm at the end of the album already. Like it's already like only 2 tracks left. Damn. Shit kind of flew by.
It really did. It really did. And then we have the 3-piece, Sweet, Honey, and Buckin', which I think is maybe just like a minute or so of 3 different songs, maybe just patches of music that she liked. And she was like, let me just throw all this shit on the 1 track. And so Sweet is Beyonce and Shaboozey, who I was not familiar with prior to this album. Had you heard of this person?
No.
I feel like he's probably a Black country artist.
Let me see.
I feel like I've seen like a TikTok of him, but Sweet starts out
forever. Yeah, he is.
Yeah. There's just something Sweet. There's just something so intrinsically maddening about Sweet, just because it's like, why have we not had as much freestyle rapping over country music tracks? Like
Good question.
2 genres, like rap and rock, go together heavy. I mean, we saw that with like, Korn, Limp Bizkit, all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do we not have that much of a crossover with rap and country music? And it's like, is it because Black people, if we're going into stereotypes, even though we invented the genre, whenever I talk to Black people, I'm like, Black people, whenever I talk to someone Black, usually, and I'm like asking them their favorite music artist, they usually, that's a lot. Whenever I talk to niggas,
niggas, hello?
Like men, Black men, like let's say a first date or whatever. And I'm like, what music artists do you like? What kind of music do you listen to? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, oh, I listen to everything, but not country.
Damn. Growing up, everybody was hip hop, R&B. And then now I'm starting to see folks expand their taste and become a bit more eclectic with their music taste. But country still seems to be something that doesn't get talked about as much. And as we're sitting here talking, I'm literally looking through the Spotify algorithm, and the amount of Black country artists that I'm finding just off of this track list is wild. Because I knew about 3 or 4 of them, but like it's so many artists that I didn't know nothing about. So people need to definitely expand their palette. And
they will now because of Beyonce, our queen. That's an interesting point, like especially with like Shaboozey and Tanner. It's like the way that this is going to open up avenues for other Black artists to do country. The way that Beyonce consistently, I mean, like, are we like 25 years into her career at this point? Maybe more?
It's probably more.
It's probably more. Probably closer to 30.
Long ass time.
And the fact that this lady can continue to challenge herself and push the boundaries and surprise us at every turn, it's just I'm just so glad I'm part of this generation. I'd be so fucking mad if I wasn't here for the Destiny's Child era, for self-titled era, you know, through all of Lemonade, all of them. It's like just to be able to see, I don't know any other artist in the Black community that is this progressive and willing to take a chance.
And dedicated to their craft like that.
And talented.
She's very dedicated to her craft. I didn't know how much until I saw the Renaissance movie. And that shit had me like boohooing in the back of the movie theater, masked up crying to me. Oh my God, this is so cool.
Still not on streaming, but that's fine. I've accepted it.
It's really not?
It's really not yet.
Damn, Beyonce, what you doing?
Okay, and then after Sweet, we got Honey and we got Buckin'. Whoa. It's such a good song. But before that, like Honey, in my opinion, when I listened to this song, I remember thinking in my head, Beyonce's voice sounds like a harp. Like it's almost like her voice is literally an instrument and she's able to maneuver it and package it and
as she pleases.
As she pleases. And it's just amazing to hear the juxtaposition between Sweet and Honey, and then even Buckin', which gets like a little bit more ratchet, not raggedy.
Raggedy is crazy.
And it's so good. It's like this perfect sandwich because Sweet is like the perfect mid-tempo song that gets a little bit hood. And then Honey is just this decadent symphony of her voice. And then Buckin' is kind of like the song that, you know, people be shaking their ass cheeks, like isolating the left and the right cheek. Like that's Buckin'. So for me, this is one of my favorites as well. So I'm going to give Sweet, Honey, and Buckin' an A, actually. Look at that horse.
Definitely a B for me. I'm over here popping coochie because I'm listening to it as we talking. So it definitely, it's a good, it flows together well despite it sounding so different as you transition through the track. I know we are at the end, but which song was it that she did the opera? Because
I think it might have been either American Requiem or Daughter.
Because, hold on, because it was one of these songs that I was like, she hit that high note. It probably was Daughter. Yeah, it was Daughter. She hit that high note and I was like, I like jumped in my seat. I'm like, Beyonce, you
Ain't she also singing a part of this in Italian too? Or am I tripping?
Let me check.
I think I read that.
Yes, she did. Because the lyrics is right here. This is definitely in Italian. This ain't in English.
I don't know what I was thinking when I put Daughter at sea. I honestly don't. Temporary mental lapse of judgment. I don't know what I was thinking because it's beautiful. It's fucking gorgeous.
I jumped in my seat. I said, "Wait, she's an opera singer now." I said,
"I think it's just because like I'm too much of a hood booger to have like appreciated it the first time. Like it was just too pristine. It's like that song is artwork.
It is
so much so that I actually had to tweet today a retraction. I'm like, strike my previous support. I would like to retract my previous statement. Daughter is in fact an A track.
I'm fucking weak. No, this shit fire. Cause I was like, hold on. Now she threw opera elements in here. But let's go to the last song.
And then womp womp. We're finally at the last track. Amen. After this roller coaster ride of emotions and twerking and love and sassiness and southernness, we get to the last track. Amen. I think it's really interesting listening to American Requiem and then listening to Amen, the first and the last tracks on the album, and how perfectly American Requiem prepares us for the album. Like it is a truly spectacular intro song. Amen has even more of those gospel choir songs. It honestly reminds me of the kind of song Mariah Carey made at the beginning of her career before she became a heathen. And she would do songs like Vision of Love and, you know, all those songs. But obviously with Beyonce's voice, which is, you know, deeper. But she references American Requiem in the track. It's a perfect bookend to this album. I really enjoy this song. I'm actually going to give Amen a B. I really, really, really enjoy Amen.
It gets an A for me because I think it's a great closing track. It's a nice ending to all that is the album. And I could hear it as like a, you know, outro credits or like not even necessarily like movie credit music or like, but definitely something you could play at like the end of a movie or like it's a really good closing track. This is very beautifully put together. interesting. So I'm gonna say A.
I
You can
think it's
kind of tell, like, damn, this the end already.
I think it's important to know, dear listeners, that Beyonce is the first Black artist to occupy the first 25 or 26 slots on iTunes country list.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she did that shit. She did that shit. And so many times in this album, she references the fact that people just be talking shit. They talk whatever they want, but she's like, I don't do all that talking. I'm just gonna show you. I'm just gonna
put it in the music.
I'm gonna put in the music. I'm gonna break records. I'm gonna take what's mine. She references, like she says that a bunch. I remember I was cleaning my house earlier, and I was like, "What's mine is mine. Nobody can take what's meant for me." Like I was listening to her music, feeling some type of way. What are your top 3 songs on the album, in your opinion?
Top 3. Let me see. So it's Jolene.
Okay.
Yaya, and I'ma say Riverdance, but it's between, I guess, Riverdance and Daughter. But yeah, I'm gonna say Riverdance though.
Daughter is number 4 for me. Number 3, I would probably give to Spaghetti. Number 2, I probably would give to Most Wanted. And number 1, I'd probably give to Levi's Jeans. I just really, really enjoy
You really like
this
that
album. And then if I had to describe this album in one word, more so than any other album I've ever heard from Beyonce, this one truly is, in my opinion, cinematic. It could almost be a movie soundtrack. It just takes you through so many emotions, so many genres, so many time periods. It's almost like an anthology to the history of folk and country and jazz and classical music. I hope she's proud because she did that shit. I know we're proud. I know I'm proud of her.
I definitely say innovative. How she infused everything to sound so like seamless and like put together is definitely innovative, because people probably sit there and, well, how did you infuse this sound with this sound, and how did you manage to it sounds all really good together. So I'll say innovative. She took the shit and made it her.
Congratulations, Beyonce. Once again, you have showed your ass. These are, once again, raising the bar, letting you bitches know, once again, you have to be better. You have to do better just to even come close to entering the same football field that Beyonce is playing in. Nobody else that I can think of could do what Beyonce just did with this album. I don't think anyone is as versatile. I don't think anybody else also has the industry power to get some of these big names on the album like this.
Damn.
Love the album overall. If I'm grading all of Cowboy Carter, I'm gonna give this album a straight A. Not an A+, not an A-, an A.
I think for me, because somebody asked me how I felt and they asked me to grade it, and at the time I said a B, but I'll probably have to push that up to an A now too, once we kind of like, because I think by that point I had only listened to the album like twice. So I definitely could say A as well. But yeah, it's really put together very well. I just laugh at the fact that I looked at them tracks and was like, bruh, 27 track. Well, she got some ready damn tracks. How long am I gonna be
that's another
here?
flex
And it
too.
just flew by. I was like,
she really got folks to listen to 27 tracks.
Especially in this day and age.
There's some artists, once they hit past 13, 14, I'm done. Like you don't have enough talent, sir, to be making no album with 22 cuts. I'm so sorry.
Why are you coming at Chris Brown like that?
Oh, I couldn't even. I ain't never in my life purchased a Chris Brown album. I couldn't tell you how many tracks.
I did in middle school.
Even then, I was like, his eyes too dark. I don't trust it.
Wow, now he look like a deep. Wait.
Yeah, he got demon eyes.
Oh my God. So
I hope y'all enjoyed this cozy rundown of our opinions on Cowboy Carter. We might as well get into the mess.
Ooh, child.
So from one talented, beautiful Black woman, let's go right on to the complete opposite. What does P stand for in P. Diddy? Patrick? Perry?
I guess.
Oh, right. The Puff Daddy. Federal agents in the U.S. Homeland Security raided 2 of P. Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami on March 25th. If you'll recall, there's been a lot of talk about him in the past couple of months, with Cassie coming forward with allegedly the abuse that she suffered while she was in a relationship, I guess is the word we're trying to use, with P. Diddy. And so they're investigating these claims. P. Diddy is 54 years old. Like, goddamn. He's been denying these allegations. He is said, quote, that these allegations are baseless and sickening. He, as of reading this, has not been formally charged or accused by federal prosecutors at this time for anything. If we're going back to Cassie, she filed a lawsuit against him in November, not to rehash the whole thing, but she accused him of sexually assaulting her back in 2018, beating her, demanding that she carry a firearm, and forcing her into having sex with male sex workers, or is what she accused him of. And then was it even a 24 whole hours he settled? And
it wasn't even a full 24 hours. Niggas blinked and he settled on that case.
And I was watching yesterday an interview that Aubrey O'Day from Danity Kane, the white girl from Danity Kane with the blonde hair.
Yeah, she said something. I've seen her tweet, but I didn't know she did an interview.
She did an interview and I was watching it. And the interview was basically like, are you scared to have this interview right now? And she's like, well, would you be scared if, you had random cars outside your house and people have been spying on you and so on and so forth? But she basically went on to say that in her experience with P. Diddy, she believes everything that he's been accused of. So these are the allegations that is being pinned against Sean Diddy Combs. So I didn't even realize that when she had filed her lawsuit in New York City, it was right before the statute of limitations was about to be over. So she really had to come forward. Yeah,
it was, they extended it, I think, for up to a year for adult sex cases in New York, and she waited literally the week up, like it was a few days before. And I was like, damn, they did a terrible job of letting the public know about that intentionally. Because I didn't even know that was a thing.
In addition to Cassie, there's been a Rodney Little Rod Jones, who is a music producer, and he alleges that he was subjected to unwanted advances by Diddy and Diddy's friends, and that Diddy directed these unwanted sexual advances onto him by other sex workers and things like that. Goes on to claim that Diddy drugged him, sexually harassed him, and threatened him for more than a year. The lawsuit also cites 50 Cent's former girlfriend, Daphne Joy, as one of the alleged sex workers that was forced to perform. She has since gone on record, I think it was like 2 days ago, saying that she's not a sex worker and she's planning on countersuing this lawsuit for defamation. The lawsuit also alleges that Combs regularly hosted sex trafficking parties with underage women and illegal drugs, and allegedly record label executives looked the other way because it financially benefited them. There's a woman named Joy who claims that she was assaulted by Diddy in 1991. So these allegations span a couple of decades. Some teenagers, there's an anonymous plaintiff, but basically Diddy has had a problem with not being a fucking monster. And so they raided his home, and I remember seeing video of him fleeing the country on his private jet or something like that, or waiting for the jet to he was at the airport trying to fly out the country.
TMZ caught his ass. TMZ did everything.
He took his daughters out to dinner yesterday and posted on Instagram. His 2 twin daughters who are 17 years old. He took them out to dinner as if he is not a care in the world. There's not a single bit of this that I don't believe.
It's just shitty that, because between what's going on with Diddy and the Quiet on the Set documentary with the Nickelodeon shit and Dan Schneider, it kind of disgusts me also that like the amount of things that people will let niggas get away with because they have money or they got some pull to get people to the next level. Like even Torre in an interview revealed that like, oh, I'd been hearing things about Diddy for years, but I sent my relative to go work for him. So like, yeah, I'm gonna tap into that nepotism. But yeah, I heard the nigga a creep, but I'm gonna still send my relative to go work for him. Like, when does it stop? Because everybody's looking for a benefit, everybody's looking for a leg up, everybody's looking for a dollar instead of trying to just say like, yeah, this shit not it. You know what I'm saying?
If I ever want to get instantly triggered or angry, all I have to do is look at the comments on any post about a black celebrity.
What is it?
But especially if
the black man down, trying to bring down a black man. Oh, they don't shut the fuck up.
They said we are celebrating the demise of another black man, that we're taking away the power of the black dollar, that this same sort of energy didn't apply to Harvey Weinstein. I'm like, the fuck? Everybody was talking about Harvey Weinstein. What you talking about?
Yo.
I think it has a whole documentary. What are you talking about?
But can we also talk about like poor black people's excitement about rich black people that don't give a fuck about them? Why you so concerned about that rich black, wealthy black person? They don't give a fuck about you. Oh, it's a win for us. No, it's a win for them. It's not a, like, we live in an individualistic, capitalist fucking society. The win for them is not the win for you, nigga. Like, it's not the win you think it is. Why does it matter? Like, he's a monster. You know what I'm saying? He a predator. He needs to go to fucking prison. Predators, regardless of race or skin color, need to go to fucking prison. They always do that shit. They don't do it to the white man. They don't know.
Do you think he will go to prison?
I don't know. I would have hoped so, but this is a country that we got motherfucking Trump running up again trying to be president. So I don't trust anything dealing with this country. I can't say he might be. If he is, I'll be surprised. They probably gonna try to find some loophole, some bullshit, and he'd be out in like 6 months or some dumb shit, or less than a year at least.
I could see a world in which Trump offers Diddy a pardon or like to help him out in exchange for Diddy's endorsement, and his coon ass would take it.
I could see that too. I don't trust this country no more. I haven't trusted this country for a long time. So
speaking of trusting this country, I saw a TikTok the other day of I want to say it was in Singapore, of a subway, and they have a woman only section of the subway for only women to stand and transport.
Niggas is that much of a creep, that much creepy that the women have to be segregated on the train?
I mean, I'm sure whatever sexism and violence against women in Singapore pales in comparison to the United States. But I thought that was so amazing and I saw a video to see that, and like the women being completely comfortable in their element. Like they don't have to go in that carriage, but it's available to them.
And they don't have to be around men.
And the men commenting about how this is sexist. How come men don't have their own compartments? Why do women need their own?
Terrorizing women. I mean, yeah, because women ain't terrorizing y'all at the same rate. Like what?
The more I think about it, it's like I would 100% go outside more if men didn't exist.
Damn. Did you hear about the man running around punching people in the face in New York City?
Absolutely. Actually, do you want to talk about it? I know all about it.
Covering their face, running around on TikTok.
Fucking Marcus Garvey's grandson.
That's what he said. Oh my God.
Yeah. He's a TikToker. All of his videos, I went to his TikTok and he had like a lot of videos, but I only watched like 2 of him straight up harassing women, just harassing them on the streets and recording it and posting it. And somehow these videos were never taken down. But apparently he had been assaulting Black women the months prior to this. And there's a video of one of the Black women after she had been punched, and they're in the subway station and the cops are questioning her and treating her like she's a criminal. And she's screaming at them. You can hear the frustration in her voice. Like, have you ever been in a situation where you're just so misunderstood? Like someone is perceiving you so incorrectly and you're just so frustrated because there's nothing you can do. That is what you see in her face and her voice and her spirit.
That was my experiences in high school.
And she has to stand next to this man while she's talking to the cops, and the cops let him go. Cut to last week, he punches, I think it was 3 white girls.
I was going to say,
and they arrested his ass post haste.
I was going to ask you, because from what I saw, it looked like a trend of white women getting, like, was he specifically looking for white women to punch in the face? Like, why are you just running around punching white? So when he punched Black women in the face, he didn't get in trouble, but then he punched a white girl and now they want to arrest him? That's crazy. That's very telling.
Maybe he just got so confident in his ability to get away with it. He was like, let me up the ante. Maybe he thought he'd get more hits on TikTok if he started harassing white women more. I don't know, but
he's on TikTok making content out of this.
Yeah.
And they didn't take down. I've seen people get their TikToks wiped from the face of the earth for much less.
So fuck him profusely with a sharpened end of a toothbrush. Why does New York not have partitions so you don't get pushed in front of trains? Why? Do you know?
I don't know. Poor infrastructure. Our train stations need upgrades so bad. The train stations are over 100 years old. This shit need an update so bad. Putting some of that money back into the train stations. I'm tired.
I
Keep
don't
upping the fees for the Metro cards and shit. But
because most people in New York City take that mode of transportation. So it's like, why is there not armed officers on every train? Why are there not ballards or guardrails? Like,
but so, you know, there's armed officers, but they're not doing.
They're not on the trains, right?
Sometimes they're on the trains. There's been times I've had whole conversations with cops on the train, but sometimes they're on the train, sometimes they're not. But they're not doing what you think they're doing. Half the time they just standing around. They're more focused on people fare evading. So they keep raising the train fare. You know, every few years they keep raising it, but people just evade the fuck out of it. Like people jump over the turnstile. people open the door because, like, if you have maybe a wheelchair or a stroller, people open that emergency exit. Nobody really pays the shit. It's so common. Like, I sat in a train station, like, I say like a few months ago, and I watched like 40 people just hold the door open for each other. Even sometimes the MTA employees will open the door for you. Like, nobody pays the fare. So that's why the police are in the train stations. They're not there to actually protect and serve and see what's going on and like try to, they're just there to make sure people are not evading fare.
Do they even have cameras on these trains?
Not on the trains, no.
See, these are things that you would think that you would do for the biggest transportation in the biggest city in the United States of America.
The police department.
But anyway, that's not the point. Okay, next story. Simon Guobadia, how do you say this nigga's name? Who, if you guys remember, is being divorced by Porsha Williams of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Initially, a lot of people thought that this was a fake divorce, that she was just doing this to protect her finances, but I guess it's real because he's gone so far as to send a cease and desist letter to stop Real House of Atlanta from filming at his home. If you remember, so that's where Porsha lives, and she just joined the cast again. So he's effectively trying to stop her check.
Oh,
because how are you going to film a show called Real Housewives if they can't go in your fucking house?
And she still lived there. She better get the fuck out of his house.
Yes.
But, oh my God, that's petty as fuck. That nigga cruising for a bruising. I'm sorry.
He's Nigerian though.
We
cannot be surprised by this petty
Nigerian men
behavior.
petty?
Yes. Name a pettier group of people.
I ain't never dated a Nigerian man, so I don't know.
I also am not a part of that ministry. Because he got one time to be like, I want a second wife, and then I'm on the news.
No.
Donald Trump is trying to sell Bibles.
So we went from sneakers, now it's Bibles.
So these are special Bibles. They're, quote, God bless the United States of America Bibles. And he's selling these hoes. Hold on. Let me give you the description, and then you tell me how much you think he charged for this. Okay.
$500.
This is what he said. All Americans need a Bible. First of all, there's no fucking way this nigga has ever read the Bible, but all Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book.
You capping.
The Bible is covered in the American flag, as well as Trump's endorsement of a text that Christians consider to be sacred. How much do you think this man who loves the Bible so much, he thinks everybody in America should have this Bible, how much do you think he's selling this Bible for?
I was going to say 500, but maybe $1,000. I don't know. It's knowing him, it'll be an excessive amount of money, and they'll pay for it.
It's not a collector's item. It's a Bible. Like the goal is to get as many people to buy this Bible as but still make a lot of money to cover his legal fees.
$5? I don't.
$59.99. $60 for a Bible, and the only thing different is an American flag on the outside and his signature.
Trump is really playing into that deep South, racist, Christian, patriot, you know what I'm saying, community that lives within this country. Like, I got my hands on I don't know if you know this, but like if you have like a prepaid phone, sometimes when you get a new number, you get somebody's old number. And I saw, a prepaid phone that a family member had, and it had a bunch of texts. I guess the person who had the phone before was like a Trump supporter. And every text message was like, hey, Patriot. Hello, Patriot. Hello, Patriot. We need your vote. I say, where's all this Patriot shit? Hey, Patriot. I said, they really do play into like people who have like an extreme sense of pride in being an American, yo. Hey, Patriot. Hello, Patriot. Me whatever you want. We need your vote. Listen, Patriot. I was like, Patriot? I said, this shit sound like a slur at this point.
You can call me a lot of things, but don't call me a fucking patriot.
This shit sounds like I'll take that. That's a slur to me right now. Hey, Patriot, we need your vote. We need you to donate. We need you to support Trump. And
this shit is going to make money. People are going to buy this stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to spend these stupid trailer park dwelling, food stamp peddling, all lives matter.
Cousin fucking
who don't have two nickels to rub together, they gonna save up and spend the $60 to get a Bible and still won't read it because they can't read.
Supporting Trump.
Yeah. I know we joke about leaving the country, Mira, but
I really be thinking about the UK, but the weather be kind of dreary there sometimes. I don't know if I could go from dreary weather to dreary weather. I need brighter. Maybe Ghana.
So speaking of ancient niggas, Tyrese is upset. He's upset again. He's always upset about something. March 31st, Transgender Day of Visibility. And he's upset because him and other people who don't know how Easter works are upset because they thought that he was declaring Easter as the Transgender Day of Visibility. But notably, Tyrese, he was so angry and agitated, he pinned another one of his fucking Instagram press releases where he has pages and pages of what he's saying. And I'm just gonna read you a little bit. President Joe, I really, really hate to put up this post, sir. I swear, man, y'all are just really, really taking things too far. Whoever you met with in your boardroom and signed off on this failed political chess move really, really need to be fired. I am always uber sensitive about people walking and living in third truth, so there's no problem here. If you are happy with your gender and want to switch it up, I'm sorry. That's just such a fucking dumb way to put it. If you are happy with your gender and want to switch it up based on who you identify with, that's your life. Do what makes you happy. I think he meant to say if you are unhappy with your gender, but he didn't proofread this clearly.
He didn't.
I say this and speak for every Christian and believer around the world. The Lord Jesus,
everybody.
The Lord Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and He is the reigning Alpha and the Omega. Jesus Christ. It always kills me when people refer to okay, let me just finish this. Pick up your Bible, Mr. President. Jesus don't do politics. The fuck?
Yo,
he absolutely did.
Oh my god.
I guess you think that like giving food to the poor was not a political act back then or now, but I promise you it is. Jesus is not a Democrat or Republican. Jesus is not to be used for political agendas or gains. And again, even if he was declaring Easter, which he didn't, Transgender Day of Awareness, how was this using Jesus to gain? How in any way is this using Jesus for a political agenda?
Not even thinking about the fact that everybody's not religious. Everybody's not even celebrating Easter. Like, people need to think beyond themselves. And
if you haven't noticed, I'm sorry, I'm going to read it exactly how he put it because the grammar is broken. And if you haven't noticed, there's actually aren't enough transgenders on this earth right now that could get you reelected. LOL. This is a reach. I never ever judge any man or woman. Do what you want with your life and your lifestyle. It sounds like you're fucking judging, but whatever. This is all going too far. I think we deserve an apology. And in case y'all are thinking that thought, I'm the furthest thing from a Trump supporter. I would rather vote for a homeless New York 7-foot rat in the swamps of the underground subways than support that orange dictator. And that's all she wrote.
He said, I'm ignorant, but I'm not his ignorant. I'm my ignorant.
Tyrese never fails to show how much of an asshole he is in every capacity, in every walk, in every news story I've ever seen involving him.
He needs to just stop talking. Just stop talking. Go back in the studio. Stop talking. Go make a song. Shut the fuck up.
I was done when he said there aren't even enough transgenders to get you reelected, as if there are also people out there who may not be transgender and would really appreciate their allies, their family members, their friends having this day because it's needed. Do we need to look at this, like the statistics of the amount of people who are transgender and are homeless because their family has rejected them, about how they make less money on the dollar, about the prison system and how people who are transgender and how they're treated like fuck Tyrese, fuck Diddy. Next, did you ever watch Zoe 101?
A little bit.
Were you ever like a Nickelodeon girly?
I was a Nickelodeon kid, and while I watched that documentary, I kind of had to go through my brain of like, when did I stop watching Nickelodeon? Because some of this shit I knew nothing about. I would say when we went into 1999, 2000, I stopped watching Nickelodeon's live action stuff, and I started watching things like SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents. I didn't watch their live action shows anymore. But as a kid, I watched everything from Clarissa Explains It All, Amanda Show, all that. Like, I watched all that stuff up until like 99. And then
you watched the Amanda Show and all that.
I watched all of that. Yeah.
I watched all that, but I never watched the Amanda Show. And honestly, okay, so the documentary, I think it's like 6 parts, but I could be wrong. I've only watched half of
I
them.
watched 4 parts. I didn't know it was 6.
There's definitely more than 4 episodes. I know that.
They must have added more recently.
But I've only watched the first 3. And so basically, it's a tell-all documentary about child actors on Nickelodeon in pretty much the 90s and the 2000s. It specifically focuses on Dan Schneider, who was a creator, writer, producer on Nickelodeon. His first claim to fame was All That, and then he was able to maneuver that into the Amanda Show, Kenan and Kel. I think Victorious as well, if I'm not mistaken, which is another show that I never watched.
Yeah, I didn't really watch that either.
When the female writers were telling their stories, to hear how this man, this white man, this straight white man was able to harass and keep everybody around him on the edge of their seat.
It wasn't until I watched that documentary that I didn't even know that could be a thing. Like they literally split one person's salary and allocated it to 2 people. I never knew that was possible. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that was a thing until I watched that. And they, from day one, she said they was like, oh, are there any funny female? Like they came out the gate sexist as fuck.
Yeah.
And it made me think about what I've realized over the years for me has become a red flag in men when they speak about women's art and what women create in a negative tune, whether it may be music, writing, comedy. You don't find no women funny. You don't find no women artists entertaining.
Listen.
You don't find any women's art worthy of consumption. Like that's a red flag to me. That means you just don't pay attention to women beyond sex and producing babies.
I need to tell you a quote that I heard this week that I have been thinking about ever since I heard it.
Mm-hmm.
This, I think it was a gay man who said this, and he's like, growing up, men always hated me. They resented me. And then he's like, one day I realized straight men don't hate me because I'm gay. They hate me because I'm feminine and they hate women.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Because like even not straight men, like my own brother who is a gay man, but he's masculine, he has a hatred for feminine men.
Yeah.
And it's so wild to think about, but every single day I am more and more convinced that by and large, yes, men are jealous of women. They're jealous of our femininity. They're jealous of that we can have like whatever it is, they're just jealous of us and they resent us. And then they do things like try to humble us or psychologically abuse us just to bring them down to their level because they're so unspectacular.
You made a great point because that's something that's also been on my mind the past few days because I noticed that like even when you interact with gay men, a lot of them tend to have a disdain for feminine men. And I'm like, so who are the feminine men supposed to date if y'all all acting like this? You know what I'm saying? Even some feminine men are like, nah, I don't want no feminine man. It's like, what's wrong with him? Like, I don't get it, but
I don't get it.
It's just it don't even matter orientation. There's just a hate for femininity across just everybody. And it's just like, for what? I don't get it.
Have you been paying attention to the 4B movement in South? I know we're going to get back to the documentary in a second, but have you heard about the 4B movement going on in South Korea? It's been going on for a couple of years.
Is that the movement where the women decided to stop procreating and stop dating and they're just focusing on their careers and they're not fucking with the men?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know what the name of it was, but I heard about it.
And it has, I guess, really caught on so much so that the birth rate in South Korea is the lowest it's been in like decades, as far as I know. And the United States as well. The birth rate has also diminished. Don't quote me on how much, but I definitely remember hearing that. And I'm just like, I've been doing the 4B movement for 4 years and I didn't even know it. It's like, you don't date men, you don't have sex with men, you don't marry men, and you don't have kids with men. Those are the 4 things. And they are upset to the point where I read that they're actually offering women $75,000 in money in a payment if they have a baby.
Damn, now baby's more valuable than gold out there.
Here, if Biden was like, okay, I'm done ruining Easter, I got to fix this birth rate problem, I'm gonna offer all women in America 75 G's to have a baby.
It's not enough to have a baby, no.
No, that won't even take care of the baby. When you get done paying for the actual delivery,
medical bills, expenses, things, I would have to First of all, I got to get a motherfucking car. I'm not about to have no baby with no damn car. Like, just all the expenses for me personally, $75K is nowhere near enough to birth a baby. Not in this economy, bucko.
But in Korea, it's different because their healthcare system is so significantly better. Like, for instance, I've seen Korean American women leave the United States just to have their baby in South Korea because they get all kinds of, first of all, they get their private hotel room. They get a nurse. They get to stay there for 3 days, and they go to like this fancy, what I would consider to be like a treatment, like not like a rehab facility, but like, you know, when people do like a mental health retreat, that's where they send new mothers. They show them how to breastfeed. They feed them all healthy food so their body can recuperate. And then they get things like credit cards that have set money on it to use to get baby stuff. And then they also get a new mommy packet like that. I mean, new mommy like package that has all this new mommy stuff in it, including vouchers to get free stuff like car seats and shit. Like, it's so different over there.
That's beautiful. But that also says a lot that they get all of that and they still don't want to procreate. That, like, how fucked up are the men that y'all get all of that and you still don't want to procreate with these niggas?
So from what I understand, the power dynamic and the gender roles in South Korea is on another level, to the point where like men are the head of the household, to the point of excess. Like, even if the man ain't making no money and the woman is the only one working in the home, like he dictates what the family does with the money. He dictates who goes where, everything. But also I heard the secret camera thing is a big problem in South Korea. Like, men filming women.
In bathrooms and shit?
Bathrooms, but also attaching them to their feet. So when you're like walking behind a girl and she's wearing a skirt,
you could see up her skirt with the, ew.
Yeah. Also like in their house, and then also stalking is a big thing I hear there in Japan as well. So yeah, go ahead, girls. You have my full support over here in Texas. I've been a part of your 4B moment for a while. We need a secret handshake. But back to the documentary, Quiet on Set, where we hear from like people like Drake Bell, where he details the bruise that he suffered from his vocal coach, I believe, when he was a kid, or actually a teenager, pretty much. And do you remember like that Canadian black girl singer named Fifi Dobson? Apparently, Fifi Dobson was dating Drake Bell at like around 2005, around there, when this abuse was happening. And Fifi Dobson's mama.
That was her mom? That you said my girlfriend's mom? Oh, I didn't know that was her. Oh, wow. Yep. Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's what they're saying anyway. That's what the streets are saying.
And trying to put two and two together that it was her? Oh, okay.
And then someone else, the reason why I asked you if you had seen Zoe 101 is because an actor named Matthew Underwood just came out as well about what he suffered when he was a child actor. A lot of people were hoping to hear from Amanda Bynes, because Amanda Bynes has had some troubling years. If you watch her videos, I don't know if you've seen her speak in the last 2 years, but it's almost...
I've seen it.
What do you think is going on there? Not that we're like medical professionals, but it's like people are trying to say like the trauma.
It's possible. It's trauma there, but it's up to her if she want to speak about it. At this, I feel like she seemed like she just want to be left the hell alone. But it's definitely trauma there. You can tell in her behavior, her speech, something is there. But
whenever I remember when she had Twitter and she was tweeting a whole lot, and people were like thinking that she was mentally gone or whatever. She had accused of being abused when she was a kid, and she was basically saying like how she's being silenced and she can't say nothing. So she has said that she's been abused. But my heart goes out to her, because the videos that I've seen of her, it seems like she's doing better. But she's definitely not anything like how she used to be. She's the Man is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's so funny. And she was so talented. Like, looking back at clips of her when she was doing the Amanda show, like her comedic timing.
Impeccable.
Just amazing.
Sad to think about. Yeah.
Okay, I'm really not trying to do this, but another trifling nigga who was trifling this week was Nick Cannon.
Oh God.
Do you know who Dr. Umar is?
I actually just saw that clip of him and Dr. Umar when I got up earlier. Yes. The King Hotep.
Yes, he's a King Hotep.
The Hotep final boss, yeah.
Nick Cannon was interviewing him, when did Nick Cannon get an interview show?
I don't know. He probably did that a long time ago. I'm actually curious about what Nick Cannon got to say, because he had a run on Nickelodeon too, but he probably not going to say, like, some of them probably just not going to say nothing. But he definitely had his run on Nickelodeon. He was on all that. He was on all that shit too.
The only one I've seen say anything was Kenan Thompson. And he basically said that Dan Schneider wasn't on the set of Kenan and Kel like that, and like he didn't personally experience any of that, but it needs to be investigated. And
They need to
he's
investigate
devastated
more.
that this happened. Yeah, which I thought was cool because he didn't have to say nothing because a lot of people ain't saying nothing.
Ain't saying
And a
nothing, or
lot
they're
of the
not saying
people,
anything of substance.
and then apparently a lot of people took the hush money as well, which I'm not going to judge anybody who does that. I've never been in your position. I can't imagine what I would do, but that's also part of the reason why it took decades to hear about this stuff.
Hear what we are hearing now. Wow.
But Nick Cannon was interviewing him, and he asked him, he was essentially asking if because his mother is mixed race, is that the reason why all of his baby mamas look like Mariah Carey? All of them are like light skinned, quote unquote, exotic looking. Why he was asking if the way that his mother looks influences who he puts his penis in.
Wait, Nick Cannon's mother is mixed?
That's what he say. When you look at her, she looks like Gayle King.
Wait, send me a picture. I can't look at Nick Cannon and never think of about a mixed parent, but genetics are funny like that. Like there was a podcast where this completely looking white man was like, I have a black father. And I know people like that. Like I know people, I done went to school with people that they look like a white person, but they have a black parent or they have a mixed parent, and you never know. Genetics is funny like that. So
I'm not saying that's not possible. I'm saying she does not look like somebody who's biracial. So that's why
she's biracial.
I was like, but even if it were true, like let's say his mama looked like Tina Knowles, how would that affect who you have babies with?
I feel like that's some, oh God, what? I forgot his name, the scientist, but I feel like that ties into some weird shit because I have seen and heard stories of men who date women that look like their moms, huh?
Freud?
Yeah, I think that ties into some Freud shit. Because even you will watch shows and like movies where there's always this man and he's always dating women that look like his mother. Like hell, even Power, Tommy was fucking with a chick that was like a redhead like his mom. Like men will seek out redheads if they mom's a redhead. They'll seek out like women who share similar features and physical features to their mom. That shit is weird.
Did you look at the picture?
I'm looking at it. Hold on.
The comments sent me, if his mama mixed, I'm the Easter Bunny. She must be mixed with African and black.
She do look like Gail. She don't look like nobody mixed nothing. And these women that he impregnate don't look shit like her.
His mama look 100% Negra to me.
Yes.
She does not look like Mariah Carey at all. She don't look like none of his baby mamas.
You know, because people like to be like, I got a little Indian in me. I got a little this in me. Like, she got him convinced that she mixed. I'm
just like, imagine throw your mama under the bus by blaming her for you not wanting to date inside your race. Like, that's wild. All right, this is going to be the last story. We're going to end this on a happy note. So Latto had tweeted something a week ago and she was like, my fave thing about being rich is going out to eat damn near every day and ordering whatever the fuck I got a taste for. And I was like, that's real. Like that is a black person sentiment to be able to eat crab legs anytime you want to eat the crab legs. Like,
so, crab legs expensive as fuck now too. Yeah.
When you start making enough money where you don't have to only go to Popeyes on Tuesdays, you made it. And so someone retweeted it and they were like, not right now, Latto. Please, it's rent season. And then she said, sorry, how much is your rent and what's your cash app?
And she said, and then and she gave her $2,000.
$2,000 was cash app from Miss Alyssa Stevens. And she said, for rent on me. And I was like, that is so beautiful. It's so silly. Like, I don't understand how anybody could have a problem with Latto. I really cannot. Yes, she's light skinned. Yes, that is part of the reason why she's successful. But she doesn't hurt nobody. She don't bother nobody except for Nikki, and I'm fine with that.
She said some ignorant shit in the past, and I think people are still holding on to that. But other than that, I do think that was very sweet, and I've never seen no shit. I've never seen no shit like that in real time. Somebody do like in real time. I'm sitting there scrolling Twitter, and I saw that, and I thought that was really nice. I was like, people need to do that shit more often. Mm-hmm. We live in such a selfish fucking world. So,
but yeah, that'll do it for this week's mess. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
All right, and we're back. So I'm going to scroll through Reddit. This is some wild shit. This is some op shit to me, but I'm going to just read it. All right. I'll try to keep it short. I'm 21, currently in a long distance relationship with my boyfriend because we're in different colleges. This morning, I asked him what time should I call him in the evening, and he said he had plans to meet someone. So I asked who, and he said an old friend. I said, oh, from school? He told me no, she's just a family friend. I said, okay, and I didn't think anything of it. My boyfriend does these solo outings with his female friends a lot, where he goes one-on-one hangouts with them, so I didn't think anything of it. That's a red flag. I've never had any problems with it before because I'm not a jealous person and I trusted him, but now I'm rethinking that. A few hours ago, I was scrolling on Instagram and I switched over to my photography account and noticed that my boyfriend had posted a story. I opened it and it was a repost of a picture of him sitting in some restaurant drinking a milkshake. And the caption on it read, "Milkshake stealer, eye roll emoji." I see the account that posted it, and it's the girl that bullied me all throughout middle and high school. I literally had a panic attack after I saw that. I'm still in shock. Also, for context, I've been dating my boyfriend since senior year of high school. When we started dating, the bullying stopped because he was kind of the popular guy, and I was dating him. He knew of her, but he wasn't friends with her. I told him about the bullying, and he even joked once that he saved me from her. What? So he knows what she's done to me and how I almost landed in the psych ward because of this girl and still lied to me about meeting her. When I switched back to my main account, I noticed that he'd blocked me from my story, but he probably forgot to block my photography account, and that is why I saw it. I haven't confronted him with it because he's asleep, but I'm feeling so betrayed and hurt right now. I can't even type properly because I'm shaking, and I don't know what to think. I don't know if I'm more upset at him hanging out with her or her keeping it from me or both. I usually pride myself on being a chill girlfriend despite my insecurities, but I'm really upset right now. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm going to need you to never use that voice again.
Why I can't use my customer service voice?
You're so disrespectful. I couldn't even take it seriously. So hold on. So I'm sorry. The problem is her boyfriend is hanging out with her former bully.
Yes, and didn't tell her and hid it from her and blocked the shit from her Instagram. So like he had it set up where like he posts the story and she couldn't see it. She just happened to see it from her photography page. He forgot to block her photography page.
This just sounds like middle school stuff. I don't even know how to respond to this. Do you have any advice?
21 and 22-year-olds.
I mean, I have nothing to say other than break up with him.
His ass.
There's nothing to say.
Why are you? That's just so nutty to me. Like you hanging out with somebody that bullied me.
I mean, any man that you date in your 20s, break up with him. Listen to me. Break up with him right now. Don't waste time. You're going to break up with him anyway.
Oh my God.
But no, forget the whole bullying op thing. Just the simple fact that he blocks you from his stories is grounds for a breakup to me. So
that's sneaky as fuck. What are you doing? What are you really over there doing? All right. Should I find another voice or should I want to do my customer service?
Do whatever Jesus tells you to do.
All right. So I'm 21. And my boyfriend, who I've been with for over a year. Oh, and so is my boyfriend, who I've been with for over a year.
Why is everybody so damn young? Do we have any grown people problems?
The wildest shit is from the youngins. Okay. I'm not seeing nothing wild from the folks older. Everybody's 21, 22, 23. Yesterday, he took my phone as he was picking up my delivery from me. So he let me use his phone. We always do this, and I've never gone through his messages. But because yesterday, he messaged me from my phone on Snapchat to let me know that my parents called, sent me a phone, accidentally pressed on another chat. Luck happened. It happened to be the girl that I'm insecure about, and I found out she was sending him explicit photos. He saved them while we were on a break. Thing is, I don't care that much about the photos, but we did have a rule that during our break, we would tell each other about every person we were talking to, kissing, going on dates, or sending photos to. I even told him about a guy who he was insecure about, so he would never stumble upon a surprise. I still don't understand why he lied when I've asked him about that same girl multiple times. Discovered that we did have a talk. We didn't come to a conclusion. Any advice on what to do? What? So they go on breaks and they're supposed to be honest about their dealings with people in the meantime, but he wasn't. Yes, this is just a breakup with him. You don't see no salvage in this?
No, break up.
Break up with him. Yo, this reminds me of those Because there's been a lot of communities on Twitter that's been popping up lately, and a lot of women go in these communities asking for advice for their relationships. And I feel like whatever it is, no matter what it is, the general consensus is like, break up with the nigga. Like, get rid of him. Like, why are you even dealing with that? Break up with
Yeah.
like,
because
that's my man. Should I talk to? No, break up with him.
Because when women want advice on men, it's usually like, oh, well, he keeps masturbating to pictures of his old ex-girlfriend. Or I think he's secretly stealing money from me while I'm sleeping. Or it'll be something like, he calls me fat all the time and keeps hinting that I should work out. Those are the letters that they be writing in. It's like, absolutely break up with that nigga. And then when guys are asking a question, they're like, how can I get my girl to have sex with me more often since the baby? It's always something that is shallow for the most part. It's never like anything serious. So yeah, 9 times out of 10, my advice is always going to be in a heterosexual relationship, just because of the gravity, because women take so much more than men do in relationships and put up with it. It's always going to be break up with his ass.
I agree. Same. One lady was like, this is my whole life. He's my whole life. So y'all are telling me to just pick up and leave my home and And it was like, well, we said break up with him. We don't know about the details of your life. We saying get away from his ass. He's not a good partner.
I've been rewatching Love and Hip Hop Hollywood with Ray J, and my opinion on relationships has been tainted so much because it's just the storylines, the amount of cheating and disrespect. I forgot that old boy had pushed his wife or his fiance in the pool.
Oh, Princess.
Yes. I forgot Brandy was on it, and her baby daddy with his crooked shark teeth got mad at her because she tried to open up a business with money they had saved up. But he ended up having a whole baby with an extra on the show. Like, it's just like, and then Youngberg got kicked off because he assaulted Masika. And it's just absolute trash. I wish they would bring it back. All right. Well, as always, you guys, if you would like a more personal connection with us and you'd like to give us any feedback or suggestions, please write into us. It's theprettypettypod@gmail.com. Or if you have any questions specifically to us, if you want to know, I don't know, Mira's hair care routine, or if you want advice, please don't hesitate to use that. And yeah, that'll do it. Do you have anything that you want to plug or any?
I'm petty. Cause fuck the universe for fucking up my fucking computer right now when I have so much work to do. I'm so backed up on my goddamn workload, and I think my CPU is fucked up. Now I gotta turn into tech support girl because my shit messed up. So fuck the universe right now. I don't know, Mercury is in micro braids. Niggas is on the internet bugging out about the smallest of shit. I found myself bugging out about the smallest of shit. A lot of arguing, a lot of catty behavior I'm seeing. I'm over it. But also, just send me well wishes for my PC. And if y'all want to check out my content, check me out at XMirror on everything. The same XMirror and Mirror.
Okay, I'm going off on myself. Mira, I'm old. I'm a fucking boomer. No, I almost got in a scam.
You got caught with them email phishing scams?
No, this is okay. Let me tell you what happened.
Nigerian niggas gonna send you $2 million?
Okay, so I used to live with my mother, right? And so whenever I get a jury duty summons, it goes to her house, not my house, right? Because I want no fucking jury duty notices. So I've never responded to it, right? So I get a phone call. This day has already been fucking horrible. He's like, "This is Sergeant William Burke with the Houston Police Department, badge number 01963. And I'm calling for Mercedes, last name here. Are you Mercedes?" And I said, "I don't know yet. Keep talking." And he said, "I completely understand, man. I just want to let you know that I'm giving you a courtesy call, that we will be issuing a warrant for your arrest for failure to appear for a jury summons, and also failure to appear in court for, I guess, being summoned for not responding to the court thing." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, I see here that you got 2 jury duty notices," and he lists my address, not my parents' address. So that should have been a red flag. I'm on the phone with this dude, and he lists all my like personal information. And he's like, "So this is a courtesy call, so you can either handle this criminally or civilly. If you want to do it criminally, you just come on down to the police department and turn yourself in, where we will hold you for a period of 24 to 78 hours, and you'll do your run or whatever. Or you can schedule a court date with me and get an avoidance bond and it will be refunded to you during your court date. It's just to assure that you will go to your court date. And I'm like, well, I got to think about this. There's too much going on. He's like, ma'am, this is a courtesy call. Once we hang up on this, then it automatically goes into a warrant. Let me tell you, this is how fucking emotionally overrun. Now that I'm saying this out loud, it's like, of course this nigga was scamming me. But at the time, I had like no bandwidth for anything. He tells me you can go to either a federal kiosk and put a deposit in there for your warrant, or you can pay $500, $250 for each ticket to the United States Treasury's Cash App.
Cash App? When the fuck they get a Cash App?
Or PayPal, that's what he said. And I said, y'all ain't got no website that somebody could pay this on? And I was like, how do I know you are who you say you are? And he was calling from a block number, Mira. He was like, hold on, I'm going to call you from the Houston Police Department number. So he hangs up, or he puts me on hold and he calls me from another number. And it comes up, public service, Houston Police Department. I Googled the number and it is the official number of the Houston Police Department. And I'm like, is this supposed to prove something? I'm like, because I'm pretty sure you can forge phone numbers when you call people. He's like, ma'am, if I'm not aware of that, but if you are able to do that, I'm pretty sure you can't do that for a police department. I was on the phone with this nigga for 2 hours.
How in the hell?
I'm crying. I'm like, I don't need this right now. There's too much going on in my life. I don't have $500. I was like, I can give you half. He was like, hold on, let me ask my supervisor. This is so wild. Saying this now, like, how the fuck did I not get he comes back. I'm not even kidding you. 4 seconds later, he says, yeah. He says, that's fine. You can do $225. And I'm like,
not even $250
or $250 or whatever. And I'm like crying. I'm like telling him, some of the stuff that's happened in the last week. And I'm like, I'm at my wit's end. Like, I have no money right now. Like, I can't afford this. I can't deal with this. And he puts me on hold for like a couple minutes and he comes back and I start texting my mom. My mom was like, hang up the phone. It's a scam. Hang up the phone. It's a scam. So I did. And then here's the part that I'm going off on. I still was not sure if this is a real cop, if this is a real call. So I called the Houston Police Department and I'm like, do you have a sergeant by this name and this badge number? And they're like, we can't tell you that. And I said, okay, well, I was just on the phone with this dude for 2 hours with this phone number. You can't tell me if somebody was using this phone number for 2 hours? And she's like, no, I can't. I'm like, well, can you at least tell me if I have a warrant out for my arrest? And she said, no, I can't. So I'm like, so people can pretend to be police officers and say whatever they want and you will not look in your system and tell me if it's true. She's like, no, but you can call a bail bondsman and they will charge you and then they will tell you whether or not you have a warrant out for your arrest. So I'm going off on myself for falling for it, but also I'm going off on the Houston Police Department for being so fucking useless all the goddamn time.
Uncooperative, because what the fuck? Hell.
It's just like scammers out here who don't want to work. More importantly, if you're going to scam a corporation, scam a billionaire, scam fucking Trump. Don't be scamming people who is just trying to make it. That's my problem. Especially when you can tell that I'm a black woman and I can tell you a black man. Like, just do fucking better. But anyway, that is all for this week. Again, if you guys would mind giving us a 5-star rating, if you would mind, wherever you listen to these podcasts. Again, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube. We might start recording video, you guys. So let us know if you'd be interested in seeing something like that. Until next time, I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it. Bye.
Bye.